Hey there and welcome. Thanks for joining this conversation about freedom and humanity. Your support gives real meaning to this channel. Let's take this journey together and dig into what's happening in America, where freedom is facing a test like never before. In Washington, D.C., a massive military parade marked 250 years of the U.S. Army. The government called it a symbol of strength and pride. For many, it was a moment to reflect on the nation's long history, its victories, its struggles, and the sacrifices made by generations of Americans. But for some, it felt like a warning, a glimpse of something more authoritarian, a move that could threaten freedom. The sight of tanks rolling down familiar streets raised questions about the balance between security and liberty, and whether the symbols of power can sometimes overshadow the values they're meant to protect. Across cities like New York and San Francisco, the No Kings movement took to the streets. The message: reject oppression, defend free speech, and push back against new restrictions. These protests brought together people from all walks of life: students, workers, artists, and activists, united by a shared belief that democracy depends on the right to speak out and be heard. Universities meant to nurture free thought started changing. In Texas, strict new laws banned night protests and face coverings during demonstrations. These measures, officials say, are about safety, but for many students and faculty, they feel like a clampdown on the very spirit of inquiry and dissent that universities are supposed to foster. Many see this as a crackdown on student voices. How free are we really? When the right to assemble and express ideas is limited, the foundation of academic freedom itself is shaken. At Columbia University, a Palestinian-American student was arrested and faces deportation for political activity, a reminder that the law can silence, even in the halls of learning. The fear of punishment for speaking out is real, and it sends a chilling message to others who might want to raise their voices. In Los Angeles, citywide protests erupted over mass arrests. Even journalists got swept up. The lines between protester, observer, and bystander blurred as the city grappled with questions about accountability and the role of the press in a free society. All of this paints a troubling picture. Freedom feels like it's under pressure. The images of people behind bars and gasping for air after tear gas are stark reminders that the struggle for liberty is ongoing, and that rights can be fragile when fear and force take center stage. So, what does freedom mean right now? Is it just a word in a constitution or a daily struggle? For some, it's a legal guarantee. For others, it's a lived experience shaped by the choices we make and the risks we're willing to take. The Russian writer Maxim Gorky said, "Only those who don't fear death for freedom deserve it." His words echo through history, reminding us that the fight for liberty is never easy, and that true freedom often demands sacrifice. Freedom isn't a gift, it's a choice. It takes courage. Every generation faces its own tests, and the decisions we make now will shape the future for those who come after us. He also wrote, "The most beautiful thing in the world is freedom of thought." In times of crisis, the ability to think independently, to question, and to imagine a better world becomes even more precious. Even if the body is shackled, ideas can't be locked away. History is full of stories where hope and resistance survive behind bars, carried in whispered words and secret notes. Are our freedoms really safe today? Or are they slipping bit by bit? Sometimes the loss is so gradual we barely notice. Until one day the rights we took for granted are gone. We're living through a complicated moment where state power, protest, and personal dignity collide. These events are lessons about what it means to protect freedom, the choices we make, the conversations we have, and the actions we take all matter. If this video sparks something in you, subscribe, hit the bell, and drop a like. Your engagement helps keep these important conversations alive and brings more voices into the dialogue. Thanks for being here, for thinking deeply, for caring. Remember, freedom is not just a word, it's a responsibility we all share. See you in the next one.